Hello, we should be discussing on natural disaster. So, first we will discuss on the topic floods. Floods uh, is an extensive area of land covered by water for several days. Floods are caused by natural as well as human factors. Natural factors that result in floods are prolonged high intensity of rainfalls, break in the slopes of rivers, blockage in the free flow of rivers. So these are some of the factors that result in these are some of the natural factors that result in floods. Now, the human activities or the human factors that cause floods are building activities, diversion of the river courses, deforestation or construction of bridges or barrage and reservoirs. Now let's discuss on the mitigation measures of floods. In the flood-prone areas, build dwelling units at least 250 meters away from the coast or river banks. Second is that avoid inhabitation on the slopes of the river sides and the sides of the gorges. Third is that construction of house with a level higher than the previous flood level. Now let's discuss on earthquakes. The sudden shaking or tremors of earth is called as earthquake. The point of origin of the earthquake inside the earth is called as the focus or hypocenter, and the place on the surface of the earth just above the focus is called as the epicenter. The intensity of earthquake measures on the Richter scale is devised by Charles F. Richter in 1935. Earthquake may be caused by volcanic eruptions, hydrostatic pressures, or of man-made water bodies, or by seismic plate movements under the earth. The effects of earthquakes are the back and forth movement of the earth during the earthquakes tilt the structure of the earth, particularly the tall buildings. Such buildings are not safe for domiciles or commercial activities. Now, the surface fall ruptures such as cracks and vertical shifts are caused. Now, mitigation measures of earthquake. A wooden structure, preferably single story, should be used for dwelling purposes, and in case of concrete structure, the buildings should have a simple rectangular plans, and the wall should be supported by the reinforced concrete column or RCC. Now the next natural disaster is the landslide. Landslide is a rapid movement of rocks or soil, etc. down the slope of the hill track. A landslide may be caused by natural or human activities. Some of the natural factors that cause landslide are highly weathered rock layers, seismic activities, torrential rain, or poor drainage. So these are some of the natural factors, and the human factors includes weak construction, improper land use pattern, mining and quarrying, and even deforestation. These are some of the activities of human that result in the landslide. The mitigation measures of landslide includes landslide can be prevented with proper construction techniques and the surface drainage. Water should be routed away from the steep slopes and from the loose soil. Also stabilize the slope by mulching, and trees and grass should be grown in those landslide prone areas. Now let's discuss on tsunami. Tsunami is the Japanese word which means harbor waves. Tsunami are waves that are generated by the volcanic eruption or the underwater landslides. Some of the important facts about tsunami is that tsunami's waves may reach as high as 15 meters and may cause heavy damage to the coastal areas. The tsunamis can also travel at a speed of about 50 km per hour on the coastal plain. That is faster than a person who can run to save themselves. Tsunamis can also possess large forces, and this force along with rock pieces may cause heavy damage to the shore, possibly killing people that come on their way. Now let's discuss on drought. Drought refers to the condition of dryness or prolonged dryness of water for many period of time. Drought causes famine and starvation of humans and several animals. Drought is a weather hazard and indicated by the deficient rainfall, falling underground water level, drying of wells, rivers, etc., and crop failures. In India, the main areas that are affected by drought are parts of Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and even parts of Odisha and West Bengal. Drought affects major areas. The effects of drought are that these drought may cause several damages to life and properties also. It may cause loss of biodiversity. It may also cause drying in the water level, which may result in the acute drinking water shortage or crop failure, and this may also leads to starvation and death of the people. And the prolonged drought may reduce energy production and increase the energy demand, which on the other hand will affect the biodiversity as well. Now, the mitigation measures of drought includes, in the drought conditions, afforestation program is the most important measures. Forest increases the moisture contained in the air, precipitation, and rate of infiltration to water. Hence, this afforestation may increase water level in the drought-prone areas. Rooftop water harvesting should also be encouraged, and dry farming irrigation technique like sprinklers, drip irrigation should be implemented. And irrigation facilities by canals, tube wells, ponds, and other sources can also go a long way to mitigate these drought conditions. Now let's discuss on the man-made disasters. The first one is fire. The main causes of fire is that fire can be caused by carelessness in the kitchen, that is by human, that is from the leaking cylinder or from the gas burner. This can induce fire. Combustible materials like kerosene, oil, petrol, diesel, etc. are also vulnerable to catch fire easily in summers when the temperature is very close to the flashing point. Sometimes even the smoldering butts of the cigarettes, when thrown without dosing the fire properly, may also lead to cause of fire accidents. Some of the mitigation measures to control fires are: one is that open the window of the kitchens if you smell the leaking gas. Two is that install fire extinguishers at residence, office, or commercial centers, and operate these fire extinguishers as soon as there is a sight of fire. For firefighting, use a specially designed clothes made of asbestos and keep the combustible material in a secure place. Now let's discuss on nuclear hazards. The possibility of an uncontrolled explosion that is originating from the fusion or fission reaction of the atomic nuclei is called as nuclear hazards. Nuclear energy can be obtained on a large scale by one of the following. By one is nuclear fission, second is by nuclear fusion. Nuclear fission involves breaking up of the heavy atom like uranium or thorium with the help of fast-moving neutrons. In this process, big atom is broken up into many smaller pieces, and this is accompanied by evolution of large amount of heat. Second is nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion involves combining of two smaller atoms like hydrogen to give out to bigger atom like the helium, and this type of fusion takes place in the sun. And through this nuclear fusion, we are able to get the heat and light from the sun. So this process is also accompanied by evolution of large amount of heat. In World War II, the United States of America dropped atom bombs on the two cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, Nagasaki of Japan City. Besides, after throwing these atom bombs, besides killing a large number of persons, nuclear radiations that is emitted from this atom bomb has also caused a huge health problem, which have been passed from generation to generation. So nuclear hazards is quite dangerous for human and even to all the living organisms as well. Now let's discuss on epidemics. Epidemics are one of the commonest disasters around the world. The word epidemic signifies widespread of occurrence of disease or health problem. The epidemics may be spread by virus, bacteria, protozoa, or even by fungi. Some of the infectious diseases are spread by humans themselves. In our country, Gorakhpur and Demrin districts are affected by Japanese encephalitis every year. This is because the area of this because the area situated to this city remains waterlogged for almost around 6 months, and the water-soaked paddy fields or the water-soaked or waterlogged area become the breeding ground for mosquitoes or other disease-spreading organisms. The area is also never fumigated, and the afflicted persons are treated in dirty hospitals. This hinder their recovery. Hence, because of these reasons, Japanese encephalitis have become widespread in these areas. Now, some of the mitigation measures for epidemics are proper sanitation should be maintained, and debris and rubbish should be removed properly to prevent the breeding of flies, mosquitoes, and rats. Health staff should also be specifically trained to handle the situation that is arising out of the outbreak of epidemics. And in the epidemic-prone areas, the authorities should remain in the state of preparedness as soon as the first case of the epidemics is reported. And coordination between staff of health department, civil staff, and municipal staff is responsible for maintenance of water, electricity, etc. should also be established.